April 2023 video horoscope with me, Lada from AstroladaOfficial. Guys, April eclipse season starts. Wow, we're gonna have the first eclipse in Aries, the first with North Node since 18 years ago. So big shifts are about to happen, and we're gonna have the luckiest day of the year. Jupiter will join the sun. For every one of us, some powerful new creative inspirational opportunity will appear that will make us feel more alive. We'll talk through all of that. And Mercury goes retrograde, but who cares? But the eclipses and Jupiter and the sun. But before I start, I just want to let you know that this is my birthday month, and I only do once a year discount of almost 50% of all of my courses. Only my courses. It's not going to repeat again this year. I'm doing it just for my birthday month for 2-3 weeks. So if you'd like to learn any of my courses, I have foundational, short, long. I will put a link below to all my courses, so you can this is the last time I'm doing it this year, and possibly for years ahead, because I'm gonna do a very different way. We're gonna do a subscription from then on, so it's, so we'll see. So thank you so much. Let's begin the April 2020 Virgo Sun, Moon, or Rising, April 2023. Virgo, let's see how the month goes. Saturn becomes visible in your 7th house from the beginning of the month for the first time in 30 years. Saturn is there and is being born, so it's time to put some new structures in regards to your relationships. This can make you more and more aware starting from April that this needs to be certain barriers in regards to what you let into your life through others, certain rules. You might have more demands towards others. You might become more particular about what you need from others. But also it can come to you from the other side, that others might start putting demands on you, and that they want certain things from you as well. So it can come from both ways. And also 7th house is not only personal relationships, it's about, and also Saturn can make you ask to start building something together with a partner, to take more responsibility together with a partner, to lay foundations for something new. More responsibilities can be a child, for example. Saturn rules your 5th house. Or more responsibilities can be some work project together. Or maybe taking care of your health and laying foundations, because Saturn also rules your 6th house. But if you do it in a partnership now, you can be more consistent, because the ruler of the 6th house is in the 7th, laying foundations together. And, more secure foundations for improving your health together, or some work project. But of course, some problems in relationships can also appear when Saturn is born there, because Saturn is the planet of making you see what is not going well. Saturn makes you see what you don't like and what is not good right now in certain areas, and that's for you is relationships, contracts. Also, that can be time when you start putting more rules and regulations in regards to interactions with clients, or in regards to a business, because 7th house is very business related. And some more structures there, or maybe decide to limit even the scope of your business, so you don't spread yourself thin, but focus on more kind of more serious, responsible your more serious clients, for example. That's another way it can play out, but let's not focus too much on that. You have 2-3 years to work on this. There is a full moon on the 6th in your 2nd house. There will be definitely some focus on family, which is 2nd house, and it starts a few days before and a couple of weeks after. So around that time, the first 2 weeks of April, there is more focus on family, on finances, on resources, on food, on taking care of your needs as well as the 2nd house. But also I see here, because this full moon, they can be seeing the results of something that you've put efforts, for example, for money. More money can come to you, or maybe gaining something valuable. But at the same time, there is Chiron that participates in this full moon. It's exactly conjunct the sun and opposite the moon in this full moon. Chiron is the wounded healer, so it can get a bit emotional. You can have some triggering of themes about wounding from family, triggerings of themes about wounding on your self-worth, triggering of wounds in regards to traumas, because the sun is in the 8th house, sexual or any kind of trauma and abuse that gets triggered for you by this full moon, and also triggering of themes of food, issues with eating. And the wounded healer Chiron can trigger this. If you've had long-standing issues in your relationship with food, it's very likely based on a traumatic event from the past. And Chiron can trigger the awareness of those things, but also heal it, because it's a full moon of resolutions to resolve it, to create more balance. Of course, it's in Libra. So to maybe, hopefully there might be some healing crisis in regards to your relationship with food, healing crisis in regards to relationship of family. Why is the 2nd house family and food? Well, that's the most nurturing thing from little. The family was nurtured us, and how you were being nurtured. There can be some crisis, but also a healing crisis in regard and attention on how you're being nurtured, that even kind of heals you from a long-standing, some kind of abuse of food or beverages or substances of any sorts, hopefully for some of you, or some kind of healing, another healing that gets triggered, this access of self-worth and giving and receiving from others, as intimacy as well, that there is activation of those, some kind of such issues around that time, and healing, the wounded healer. Then the other big event is that the Sun and Jupiter will join in your 8th house, which is a very psychological house of traumas and healing, we see again. And I think this whole month, it's very 8th house month for you, to around the 20th, even after the 20th, because there is an eclipse in your 8th house after that. So from the beginning of the month, even though the Sun and Jupiter join only on the 11th of April, but they're close together the whole month, till the end of the month, this 8th house themes are very powerful, but very auspicious as well, because the two gas giants, that one represents the Christ consciousness, the Sun, the highest vibration. The other one represents the angelic consciousness, the Jupiter. Jupiter is angelic wisdom. So the planets of the Sun and Jupiter, the two greatest benefics, so to speak, and the bringers of knowledge and understanding, are in your 8th house of trauma. 8th house is a hidden dark house, has scorpionic energies, where we hide our secrets, where our traumas stay from this life, or even from relationships, or sexual, or any kind of mental, psychological traumas, things that we can't forgive, or things that we kind of cringe when we remember, and things that we carry in our body as even illnesses sometimes, because of the psychological pain that it's caused. They're locked in somewhere in the body. Well, the Sun and Jupiter will bring a lot of illumination to such themes, to such topics. It might be spontaneous. It might be like you suddenly realize why you have certain obsessive or addictive behaviors, why you have certain compulsive actions, or certain very extreme emotional reactions, or the feeling that you can't live without something, or why you're locked in certain situations of can't live without, can't live with you. These are usually based on traumas of the subconscious, and Jupiter and the Sun can bring a lot of light and understanding there, and healing. It doesn't even have to be, it can be conscious understanding, but it can be like a big release that happens for some of you, that is tying you to some complex psychological situation, where you give your power away to something or someone, where you allow yourself to, where you fear, where you feel compulsive fear not to lose something, where you feel compulsive fear that, oh, how can I live without this or without that? So there is a very rare chance, this Jupiter-Sun conjunction, the whole April, of psychological healing, sudden shift of huge levels of heavy emotions that are released, and it can be a bit explosive at that, because of the, this release of energy. But after that, you can feel much lighter. And if you work with a psychologist or with an astrologer, or if you yourself that read psychology, investigate yourself, they can be realizations, very profound realizations and healings. Even if you're not if you do astrology, there can be some deep realizations there as well. Healing and releasing. It's a moksha house of liberation, of release. And you can release a lot of blockages towards intimacy as well. Another, because 8th house is intimacy, ability to connect with another on a deep level. Another way it can play out is also conceptions and pregnancies, because 8th house is that. Deaths and births. Sometimes in extreme cases they can even be the death of someone, but you benefit something because it's Jupiter the Sun, like inheritance or something. I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to scare you. Don't worry. But also the 8th house can be like a divorce. It's kind of some shocking life events that can happen. Divorce, separation, deaths, births. But again, you benefit something. It is the 8th house. You gain. It's two benefic planets, Jupiter and the Sun. You gain something, and it's almost like if you lose something, if something dies in your life now and ends abruptly, despite of that, it triggers you into new life force and hope and faith and feeling alive, because Jupiter and the Sun participate. So even if something ends abruptly, it's like it gives you new life force. It's almost like a rebirth that's going to happen for some of you. The 8th house is the house of death and rebirth. An old part of your ego can die and a new part can be born. As I said, it can happen through psychological unloading and releasing of some trauma, or it can happen through some literal crisis and death that happens, but that rebirths you, or something crazy like getting pregnant, or some releasing you from certain heavy burdens from the past and being reborn in a new way. And of course, the 8th house is resources that come to you from others. For example, now something very powerful can happen, like your partner starts making more money, or your clients start bringing more money, or some mutual business idea that, say, if you take a new responsibility with a partner here with Saturn in the 7th house, it can indicate, and Jupiter and the Sun meet in the 8th house of other people's resources, that you can bring in a lot of money through some mutual goal or whatever. If you combine with another, your powers, this certain Jupiter conjunction triggers now inspirations and ideas that will take 12 years, and it will give for 12 years more abundance or gains or security for you. So it can be something like that as well. Maybe money comes to you, or maybe money comes to you from a divorce, or money comes to you from your partner starting to make more. Or not only money, but resources and support can come to you from government, or from some stock market investment suddenly, or from some inheritance, or someone else gives you, and that can bring new opportunities for you there. It's like opens new doors. And of course, there is an eclipse after that in this 8th house. So we're seeing here that this eclipse is on the 20th of April, and it's active for 12 months after that. So again, some sudden event can happen. It can be like pregnancies and so on. So it's kind of the more fated extreme events, for better or worse, that turns your life around. Might be again like inheritance and all of those things, but the themes, it's not just this April, it carries on for a long time, and you gain something from it because the North Node participates in the eclipse. And it can be also, for some people, it can be very occult experience in the 8th house, the birth of interest towards the occult, towards astrology, towards psychology, towards studying such kind of a very deep topic, towards some work or business connected to the 8th house, emergencies, transformation, rejuvenation, healing, energy work, stock market investments, anything to do with life and death situations, crisis. So you can benefit a lot through such things, but and something can come to your life through such experiences. So it will be interesting. I have a few Virgo rising people. I'll be watching them to see what's happening there. I can give you also some heads up. When Jupiter and when the Sun and Jupiter was in my 8th house, I fell in love a lot. So this is the house of soulmates, falling in love as well. And it's the house of also hidden love affair and so on. So that's also a possibility for some of you. But something that will renew your life force, it's coming from this 8th house. Hidden money can come to you. money that comes to you from another source that you haven't worked for as well, and so on. Okay, and then Mercury turns retrograde, Virgo, and you're ruled by Mercury on the 21st of April. A few days before, you can feel it already, so maybe from the 15th of April. You might be going back to certain things from the past, especially after the 20th of April onwards, to review, to re-examine. You might have to rethink your education, or maybe maybe take some exams during that period, or refresh some knowledge from the past, go back through some knowledge that you had, some information that you have to go and look at. You can rethink that you might want to take certain courses or pre-qualify, or you might change your direction, your mind about what you want to study. If you're studying something, change something. It might be good time to dig deep into studying, revising. And Mercury is going retrograde in the 9th house. Can be also that after April the 20th, and then for 2-3 weeks you can revisit the place that you've been in before, that you've planned to go already, and you can revisit it or go there already. It can indicate that you're arranging certain documents or legal papers that you might have to redo a little bit or fix, or might be some delay that you need to add on certain documents as well. It can be that you reconnect with people from faraway places that you haven't seen for a while as well. That's another way, and so on. But overall, it's quite a good Mercury retrograde. It's making a trine to your sign, so it's making good aspects to Mars, to Saturn. So I don't think there will be very many problems of any sort. But of course, as always, Mercury retrograde, there is often like you have to change plans. You plan to do something, and then it doesn't happen at the time you want. So after the 20th of April, a lot of those situations can happen, can throw you off a little bit, your routines, which Virgo likes their routines. So you have to be prepared to be more flexible. But this Mercury retrograde also gives you opportunity to see things from a little bit more different, alternative perspective, and to get out of rut. So thank you so much, Virgos, and I hope you enjoy this month, and I hope there is this powerful healings.